Okay, well, I guess that was weird. Good evening, YouTube. You guys are now watching another segment of the TheCaliEffect. Today, we're going to be doing the Cyber Dragon Artifact deck profile. You have Rain, I forgot his name. I'm sorry. He has the My Little Pony background. I'm so blanked out of your name. I went to the page, I thought about it, I looked at it, I was like, all right, I'm going to name him in the video. But shout out to you for reminding me about doing this video. I'm excited to do the Cyber Dragon Artifact video, and let's get down to it. As you guys can see, I'm not going to name off all the cards in here. The deck list won't be down in the description. I was going to say it will, but you know what? I'll write it down just for you guys, just because I took so long. The deck list will be good going down to the description. I'm going to be explaining how the deck works, not necessarily what's in the deck. When you build a deck, anytime you build a deck, you want it to go full circle, like this. You don't want any parts of your deck to make a triangle or a square. With that being said, you want your deck to fit perfect consistency. They all have to work with each other. All cards must work with each other. If they don't, then you'll have a problem somewhere down the line in your duel. With that being said, with that in mind, I built this deck in that full circle aspect and consistency. Maybe there is a couple of cards that I didn't think of that would work extremely well with the deck, and that's why when you build the deck, you should build with multiple people. Me being the TheCaliEffect, I don't have really a lot of people to build with. Eric's being gay, TJ's a really bad player, but I'm pretty sure once we start playtesting and get up to my caliber, they'll be able to look at a deck and be like, hey, we need to do this, maybe try out a couple things. That being said, this is Cyber Dragon Artifacts. This is my complete build on it. I felt that a lot of these cards are almost mandatory, and let me take a real drink real quick because shit is sweet. I think it's Lode Pimp Juice. But anyways, we run 6 artifacts, 2 being Scythe, 3 being Moraltach, 1 Begaltach. Biggest reason why that is because when you look at the Artifact Trap Tricks, or I'm sorry, yeah, the Artifact Trap Tricks hand deck profiles, the latest ones, they completely drop Begaltach and they drop Scythe. They also drop the Ignitions. Reason why is because they feel that, first of all, it's not an artifact deck. Secondly, they don't need to rely on rank 5 plays. And thirdly, the only thing they need is the interaction with the opponent. With that being said, they only run Moraltach and Sanctums. Sanctums allow, if they're destroyed, to interact with your opponent, and Moraltachs give interaction with the opponent by themselves, period. So that's something you have to take apart, separate from this deck from that deck. They necessarily don't need the rank 5 engine. This is a rank 5 deck. Cyber Dragon is a rank 5 monster. The artifacts are rank 5 monsters. Drei is a level 4 monster that makes himself 5, and Star Drawing is also a monster that treats itself as a rank 5 play. So this is a rank 5 deck. When you make a rank 5 deck, you want to maximize on the consistency with the rank 5. Well, guess what? All artifacts ever made are level 5, so they fit this description, and that's why we're running more often than normal artifacts than any other deck that I can think of. That's why we're running so many artifacts. They just allow me to have so much interaction with the opponent. As well, they fit in the puzzle so well as being a light level 5 type level 5 monster that I can just mess with. Scythes, I think, are the most underrated artifact in the game, because the only other good artifact is Moraltach. But Scythe basically prevents your opponent from going into the extra deck for that whole turn that is special summoned on their turn. I think that that's so underrated. It prevents the opponent from making Exciton, Honor Arc, Star Eaters, Stardust, just anything that would be extremely annoying. And since more often than not, most people can't special summon, or most people special summon from their extra deck, is just an amazing card. Even if you go to switch to the OCG, if you read Scythe, it says the opponent can special summon cards from the extra deck. With that being said, Quillhoffs are in a lot of trouble when they try to pendulum summon all those monsters from the extra deck if you go Scythe first. I really like Scythe in that aspect, and I think this is an extremely underrated artifact monster. The Moraltachs are for obvious reasons. You destroy face-ups, interact with your opponent on their turn, stops them from doing whatever they want to do. The Begaltach is because I run 5 other artifacts, and you will draw some of these artifacts. Begaltach will become live as soon as you draw those artifacts, as long as it's not Begaltach. And even if you do draw Begaltach, we have so many ways to destroy Begaltach itself that it's not even a problem to special summon him and special summon another card from our back row. That being said, that's practically the artifact engine. Next would be the Cyber Dragons. Now, the obvious star of the deck is Cyber Dragon, because that's what the deck is named after. Cyber Dragon is amazing. Cyber Dragon is just that card. It's a 2100 level 5 beater, and has so many ways to bring himself out, so many ways to make plays with him that it's not even funny. I don't even want to delve into that, mainly because we don't use more than often of them. I felt that the biggest thing to run was the Cyber Dragons, the Dreis, and the cores. Now, biggest reason why I don't run like cards like Overload Fusion, Power Bond, you know, that stuff, the fusion summon and that, because it's inconsistent. When you're throwing another engine in the deck, I'm running 9 Cyber Dragon cards, I'm running 6 artifact cards, I'm running 3 monsters that aren't artifacts. So I'm running 9 Cyber Dragon cards and 9 cards that don't work with the card. So half of my monster base does not work with Power Gun, Overload Fusion, and all that Cyber Dragon stuff. Why the hell would I run it? And then half the time, if I had enough monsters on the field, hand, and graveyard to activate the cards, I possibly could get out a monster that would clog up the extra deck. Just not worth it. I think Overload Fusion maybe at 1 would be worth it, mainly because I guess I can make a 1600 attack Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. It's not really desirable even there. That's the biggest reason why I didn't run any of them. Don't get me wrong, they're good cards. I just don't feel with 9 slots that it should merit anything in there. I don't like Cyber Dragon Core necessarily. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I think I want to say the second saga, I realized Cyber Dragon Core did have a second effect to special summon the Cyber Dragon from your deck. Maybe I would have built or played the deck a little bit differently had I known that from the jump. But ultimately, he's there to search Cyber Dragon Network. The only reason why we don't run 3 Network is because 3 Network are extremely cloggy. It's just really bad. It's not worth it. And we run 1 Repair Plant. Repair Plant isn't really good, but it's not Cyber Network, so it helps in some aspects. It does search the Cyber Dragon, or I'm sorry, a Light Machine monster from my deck to my hand, so it's not horrible, but then again, it's not anything that I would run more than 1, and on top of that, it's searchable. Star Drawing, she's an amazing little girl. First and foremost, she works with every single card in the deck. Period, hands down, for the exception of Core, because Core is just that awkward monster. She works with every single card in the deck. She makes herself 5, and she makes a 5 play, and then you get the draw card. That's what I really like about Star Drawing. Next is that she draws you a card. I mean, really not much else to say about that. I feel that she's like a really good centerpiece to the deck. One more thing, if you summon Drei, you make him 5, you can only make machine type plays. Your only play would be Cyber Dragon Nova. Are the other ones machine? I think all the other ones are non-machine. Oh, I'm sorry, and Zen Mayo. So those are your only guys. So you have to be wise when you use Drei's effect. I don't run with 4s because I don't have enough room. Now on to spells. 3 copies of Instant Fusion. Instant Fusion is exactly what it says. I run 2 copies of Musician King, just because I know you guys love to summon Pleiades. There's so many players that love to summon Pleiades. And when you don't want to summon Pleiades, yes, you can go into any of your other cards that you want to. And then Cybersaurs, because there is a time where you'll go into Cyber Dragon Nova and he gets destroyed, or you'll have to go into Cyber Dragon Nova because you summon Drei, and he'll get destroyed and you get the special summon a machine. Sometimes you go into Cyber Dragon Nova, maybe if you had Core on your side of the field and you protected it and summoned Drei, then you can go into Cyber Dragon Nova. It gets destroyed. Let's say you want to go into a 5 play. You special summon Cybersaurs, then you special summon Moraltach to defend yourself or defend your opponent from destroying the Cybersaurs, and then you overlay into another play. So everything does have a little perfect synergy circle that I was talking about earlier, and the deck works in that way. Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon, because I'm a douche. I'm just that douche. I mean, it's not mandatory, but I promise you guys, when you play Quillhoffs, you'll want it. You really will, because this deck has no alt to Quillhoffs other than the out to Quillhoffs, so you'll be perfectly fine. I run 3 copies of Ignition and 3 copies of Double Cyclone. So don't get this twisted. This is exactly how you got to look at this card. First of all, Ignition. Ignition is a reinforcement of the army. I run enough artifacts to support Ignition completely. So you destroy one of your opponent's cards, or even you destroy one of your cards, and then you get to search your reinforcement of the army artifacts in the field. That's why we run Ignition. Ignition is just that good. Now, I know you guys are looking, well, if you're running 3 Ignitions, why are you running 3 Double Cyclones? You guys have to remember, Double Cyclone destroys both spells simultaneously and add resolution. So Cyber Network works completely with Double Cyclone. So I have 1, 2, or 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 8 cards to work with double Cyclone, 8 cards that need to be gotten off with double Cyclone, and then that just makes so many great plays. So of course I want to maximize the efficiency of playing double Cyclone. Duality is in here for obvious reasons. Sanctum is in there for obvious reasons. And like I said, if you Sanctum your Scythe at the right time, your opponent can't make an XE play, you're probably going to win the game next turn when you make one of your 5 plays. The staples are obvious. Network is extremely good, but you guys have to be extremely risky about Network. I think Network is one of the cards that tie all the artifacts together, because we have so many ways to destroy the artifacts, and Network is just another one. If you activate Network, you have to be careful. That's one thing I have to tell you again. You have to be careful, because you do not want it to roll around on your turn and then it to destroy all your artifacts face down and you not being able to get rid of it for it. When you activate Network, you want some way to destroy it. So you want double Cyclone to destroy Network on your opponent's turn, so you can destroy your artifact monsters. So you can special summon your Cyber Dragon monsters and your artifact monsters, get off your artifact monsters, and then next turn make huge amounts of plays without having to summon a monster. That is the biggest thing I want to stress about Cyber Network. Next is Call on Hunted. I mean, that's so obvious. Interaction on your opponent's turn with the artifacts. Special summon Star Drawing again and make another XE play. I mean, it's nothing else to be said about that. What you could do, an edit that I've actually noticed isn't really horrible, is if you don't like dualities. The only reason why I run dualities over Dichotomy is because Dichotomy, you can't open Dichotomy and be successful. Dichotomy is a mid to late game card. You can open Duality on almost every single point of the game, as long as you don't need to special summon, which I'm not gonna lie, this deck does a lot. You'll be able to search, or not search, you'll be able to reveal to add the key piece that you need. But Dichotomy does put those artifacts back to your deck, does put the Cyber Dragons back to your deck, it does put certain cards back to your deck that you might need later on in that grind game. It's really dependent on what you need. As for the extra deck, Cyber Twin is special summonable by Nova. We already went over these guys with the Instant Fusion. The reason why we're running 2 Musician King instead of 2 Cybersaurus is because Pleiades is life, Pleiades is love. Thunder Chargers, every monster we make is 5. We made Pleiades so much, so Pluthotomy is obviously an N. Zen Mayo is really good for getting over opponent's back row, and it's a machine. And then, you know, just regular stuff. These cards on the side, I just have them for display. This card actually is really good, but I don't have room for it. It's whatever. And this card, as I said, I wish it said destroyed your cards on the time it's summoned. And I wish there was a monster or a spell card that fusion summon Cyber Dragon that could be able to fusion summon Cyber Dragon on your opponent's turn. But that's just wishful thinking. Other than that, I really hope you guys enjoy the Cyber Dragon artifact deck profile. If you guys would like deck profiles more like this, just me showing it to you on DevPro and then explaining a couple of the combos and a couple of wacky things and how the deck works, instead of, you know, just listing off the cards like I see so many YouTubers do without telling you how the deck works, then feel free to comment and say something about it. If you guys would like the old way back to me doing real life deck profiles, which I'm not gonna lie to you guys, my camcorder did break down, I need a new battery. But that's not really much of a problem. It's just harder to do deck profiles and stuff like that. I'd be more than happy to do that. So it's whatever you guys want to do. Thank you guys for watching another segment of the Cali Effect. Please like, comment, subscribe. But most of all, enjoy.